Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is a place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. Today, it's time for Coffee Talks with the BizChicks. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Ms. Francine Gregory. I'm Terralina Austin, and we are the BizChicks. We want to welcome you to the conversation. We'd like you to sit back, relax, get your favorite beverage, and let's just have a chat here. Oh, righty tighty. So, what's our topic today, Fran?
Well, we're getting ready to go into a new year, new season, and we just want to do a little bit of reflection, a year in review. And sometimes we need to stop and get out of the regular routine and just check in to see how we are doing um, based on what we decided to do at the beginning of the year. So, are we living into that vision? Did we live into the vision? Did we keep our promises to ourselves? Um, did we get distracted off of our purpose? Just looking at things, what transpired? You know, what will I do going forward? We need to take a look at all of these things. So for me, I'm looking like, did I went to a retreat recently, and they had us do this calendar, write out for 2024 all the things you did in January. Take your calendar out, go over the calendar, and see what your activities were for 2024, going from January all the way through December. And the December hasn't finished yet, but you're and so I looked at my calendar, and there are some recurring things that always happen. Biz chicks, such and such, real estate, all those things still happened. But then there was some other things that were on the calendar, on my personal calendar, that I noticed that I didn't do.
Like what, Fran?
Walking,
You know what? I didn't either. I stopped walking around June. It was so hot, but I could have walked inside.
right. So I'm looking at the calendar, and there's nothing, even though I put it on my personal calendar that I'm going to walk and do da 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 da. There was no walking listed on where I could say that I did that.
There,
And I
there
was
was nowhere to check it off, right?
Now I did check in with family. That was one of the things that I wanted to do. Remember when we used to have, and I think we should go back to doing
We
this,
should because it is evergreen.
right, where you would put the 5 6 F's, where you check in faith, family, and whatever it is that you decided to do, and then we held one another accountable. Did you draw today? If you said that you wanted to do some drawing, did you bake the cakes that you wanted to do on your time off? Did you write the book or the chapters for the book? Did you do the things that you said that you wanted to do? Open your mic, Terry.
Let's see if I remembered everything. I think I got them all: faith, family, fertilizer, fitness, and fun.
I think you did. So we want to do faith, our relationships, taking care of our mindset, getting a workout in. Oh, finance was the one. And
Alrighty, I will add that.
yeah, so making sure we got all those things in, because those make us a well-rounded person, and checking in on those things, and then having a vision buddy, somebody, a vision friend. I'm gonna call it a vision friend. Having somebody that you can talk to about your vision that's going to help you get to what you said that you wanted to do. That'll and you have an accountability person where I can say, "Hey Terry, how did your walking go today?" Or just somebody that you're sharing the vision with that is on your team, somebody that's going to encourage you to walk up that hill.
Yes.
So,
Oh my gosh.
in this retreat that I went on, one of the activities was called contrast therapy.
Hmm.
And contrast therapy, it helps you to um, think differently and do impossible things that we think that are impossible. Do
Yes.
hard things. Do hard
Okay.
things, and then overcome it. So contrast therapy is you get in a cold plunge,
Oh, I have a niece that did that. Yes.
2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
you get
Ooh.
out, get in the sauna for 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
go back to the cold plunge for 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I did it and I have proof.
Got video. Okay.
I did it, I have proof, and it is a game changer to the point where I might get a cold plunge container to do at
Oh,
home. Yeah,
okay.
I'm with Mark. Mark says I live in Chicago every day until May is a cold.
Okay, I feel you, Mark. That's like living in Boston. It snows on Mother's Day. Is it? They don't play with that snow, with that cold stuff. So,
Yes, and so, but what I learned was, and then so today, I realized that before I start work, I need to walk. I need to go do my walking before I sit down behind the computer. Um, and so, in order for me to, so looking at my year in review, I knew I needed to make a change. So
mhm, mhm.
now I get out and go do my walk, even though I'm out of town. I walked around this complex, this shopping complex. I walked
Yeah,
around it, and okay, and here's the thing. You have no excuse if you don't have no gym clothes or tennis shoes.
it's just walking.
Exactly. And I was like, wait, I do not need to have on the full get up. Just get up, put on some shoes, go outside.
Exactly.
And I did
Ex-
it. So I walked around today. I walked around. I did almost a mile. My rings closed.
All right. There you
So
go.
that's all I needed. Just close
Mhm,
the ring. And then I was okay about doing work now
mhm.
because I got the priority thing
Which
out of
was
the
to
way.
take care of yourself.
Yes.
Okay, can we go to the front of our own line?
And the people raved about our little saying, Terry, when I was talking about that. Because
Hmm.
in the retreat, you're meeting up with other people. And a lot of people do not go to the front of their own line.
It is, and it is very common, especially amongst people who have a lot of empathy for others, people who are givers. We tend to, I mean, even when you think about it, friend, in our day to day lives, even when we're going through a door, how many times have you had to hesitate because both of you were so polite, nobody wanted to go first?
Meanwhile, everybody's back behind you,
Yeah, that's just
sitting
like,
the
well, y'all
kind of,
just go through the door. Yes.
and yeah. So that was the thing. So that cold plunge thing was really, really good.
Hmm.
And then the other thing that I did, I got up and at 7 a.m. Well, I got up before 7, but at 7 a.m. every morning, they had a workout.
Okay.
And I realized, I don't know what was going on in my mind, but I realized that I had not been moving.
Same here. And there's no excuse for that. I don't, because it's out of my norm. I think because sometimes we have unexpected adjustments in our lives, like my having to come and become a caregiver temporarily,
Mm-hmm.
and then changing uh, homes several times during the year. You know what I mean? We're in this spot, now we're in that spot, now we're in this spot. And I think we're so busy with the optics of the big things that we forget about what we have promised to do for ourselves.
Right. Yeah. And so one of the exercises was going back over 2024 and
Mhm.
seeing what activities took place. It could have been things that were hard for you to do, like the loss of a loved one. Um, there was things that were, and you still, and
I
people,
call them unexpected, unscheduled events, divorce,
yes,
illnesses, like you said, caregiving, loss of jobs,
yes.
finances. Yes, go ahead.
There was a lot of things going on
Mhm.
that you still needed to be it's not for you to beat up. When you looked back over the calendar, you look
Mhm.
over it very kindly to yourself
Oh,
and
good.
just see where you're going to make adjustments.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
I'm thinking, and I'm looking at myself like, now you know that you there are principles for health, one of them being you need to move. And for whatever reason, I'm all in on the projects I'm working on or whatever. And then one lady I was speaking with, she said sometimes we create a distraction so that we don't
Have
do
to
the
keep our
thing.
commitments to ourselves.
So, yeah, so we create a distraction.
Wow. Because the
And the,
truth is, friend, think about this. When I was in my home, I got up at 5 in the morning. I don't do that anymore. And I got all those things done that we said we were going to do for ourselves. You
mm-hmm,
know, I made sure that I kept that calendar: faith, family, fertilizer, fitness, finance, and fun.
mm-hmm.
But, and I could do the same thing in the spot. But like you said, I used this opportunity to not keep that commitment.
Right. And I
Mm,
was and so what, looking back over the year, what promises do I need to adjust, or maybe just need to let something go? And I'm looking at my schedule and I'm like, okay, some of these things are not of the
and the
regular
others.
routine. One of these things are not like the yeah, some of the routine I need to evaluate it. Do I really need to have that activity on my calendar for 2025 or 2026 or wherever I'm going? Do I need that on my calendar for the next year? Possibly not. Um, and be okay with it. And then we learned about seeds and how when you put a seed in the ground and you put water in it, it flourishes and opens, right? It gradually comes. The seed does not go from and you need to be okay with the
First the seed, then the blade, then the full ear.
yeah, and we need to be okay with the seed taking the time to germinate and then open and then go come into whatever it is, instead of having these tasteless tomatoes because they rush them through the cycle. And the food does not when you rush the process, the food is not tasty, nor does it nourish you because it doesn't have uh, all of the components that it's supposed to have when it goes through the proper cycle.
Did it get a chance to take the nutrients out of the soil? Did it get? And my grandmother could tell in a minute if it was a hot house tomato. And I never understood that till I got older and developed a better palate.
Hmm. So, what do we do about all of this? Do I continue um, do I continue going down this same trail without making adjustments? No, I'm going to stop. I'm going to readjust, and I'm going to encourage all of you to do the same thing. Look over your calendar. Are you living the vision that you said that you wanted? One, did you have a vision for the year? And if you had a vision, are you living into that vision? And it doesn't mean that it's all going to come to pass within the first 10 days. It probably won't, but are you living into the vision that you saw?
Well, a lot of us need to stop chasing shiny objects.
That part too. So, moving forward, just taking our time and making the next move and uh, putting things in some kind of order, but moving with your heart. Am I really doing what I want to be doing? Or am I living up to someone else's idea of what success is? And Mark talks about this too. You define your what success is for you every day. And am I being successful today? And I should look back over my life next year and see, yep, I did it. I and here's the other thing. Micro celebrations.
You know, we're all about that. Stop and celebrate.
Even if it's not firework worthy, it's still a celebration. Ooh, I got up out the bed today. Let's celebrate that. I actually walked around the block. Maybe it wasn't a full mile, but I walked around the block. Let's celebrate that. I wrote a line for a paragraph. Let's celebrate that. So there's the micro celebrations, which will help you, like, oh, okay, you'll do it tomorrow because you celebrated it today. And
There you go.
Mark says one of the biggest missteps that people make is not revisiting your vision on a regular basis to adjust, modify, or invigorate. I like that invigorate word. We evolve, and so does the world. So yeah, we need to go back and look at it. Maybe Mark, are you back on Facebook yet? And I'm saying to you, even if you're not, I'm seeing more of your stuff on YouTube and Threads and Instagram than I saw when you were on Facebook. So this might be just the evolvement of Ask Mark Ward. And if you all have not followed him, you should definitely follow him. There's
Mark is
some,
a genius at
yeah,
what he does.
yes. I was like, OMG. Yes, thank you, Mark. He has lots of videos on YouTube on his channel. So go check out Ask Mark Ward. And I love that he did one on having a mental health first aid kit. It was very, very good. I was like, okay, so this right here is good. Things to have in your mental health first aid kit. And it was well done, animated, and it was kind of like the Schoolhouse Rock stuff, Terry, where you have the characters and stuff.
Yes, I love
And I
school.
was like, oh, I like this.
There,
This,
there
this,
you go, Mark. You caught our attention.
yeah, this is well done. So, and then he has a podcast called The 4 Minute Mark, and all of these I think was because of the transition. Okay, so the Facebook door closed. Okay, so there are plenty other neighborhoods to go to. And
Wow.
just reevaluating. I'm talking about for all of us. uh, Work what's working.
He says, thank you so much, ladies. I just put up one that speaks to those who are feeling invisible, which is quite common these days. Yeah,
Thank you. I think Sterling is feeling invisible. Sterling has got his voice, and I'm thinking of one of the things that you told me a while back, celebrating the voice, because
absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
and you know, where sometimes people think it's an intrusion or something, but it's not, because there was a time. What did you tell me about the lady that was sitting next to you
And whose child was deaf and dumb.
and could
And I
not
was trying
speak?
to shush my child who was learning to talk. And she said, I wish I could hear my child's voice. There's always a reason to celebrate.
Right. And Sterling is going. He gonna have to have a seat next to you pretty soon, because he just because he's found his voice, and we celebrate that. We celebrate, and celebrating your voice. Each one of you have a voice that needs to be shared, uh, and it needs to be shared with people. Just share your insight, what you see in the world. Just, and me going to that little retreat just for a couple of days, and just like, hang on, wait a minute.
And here's the other thing, we keep adjusting our lives for everybody else.
Hmm.
Okay, they're not going to pass out, lose anything if they get an opportunity to cry or scream about it for a minute. They'll be okay, people. Trust me.
I love that you said that, because I was talking to some young ladies who had a hard time saying no. And you know, they took on the person, like if somebody asked them to do something, they said yes right away. And they, but they regretted it later, and they resented that they had to do it, so they weren't working in love.
Exactly. No
I mean,
joy was, they didn't get any joy out of it.
no, and it didn't make them smile anymore. Something that would normally make them smile, it didn't make them smile, because they were doing it out of pleasing the other person, but it it sucked the joy out of them for them to do it.
And what happens when a people pleaser and a narcissist get together? That narcissist is constantly asking for something, and we're constantly trying to just keep up with the requests. Can you imagine?
And it doesn't work, and nobody is being fulfilled. Um, in some future
Well, the narcissist
episodes,
is, because they get everything they want.
yes, in future episodes, I'm going to talk to you about. I learned this one thing. I was like, OMG, if you are not whole, you are a hindrance to your community. If you are not whole and have taken care of yourself, you hinder your family, your community, or whatever, because you're now not reliable, and you're unpredictable, because you have not taken care of yourself.
Especially if you're a mom. If mom goes down, the whole family's going down. Okay.
Right, right. And so you need to take off. You need to go take care of you. You need to make things happen for you. And people, uh they're all strung out helping everybody else, hair all thinned out, and you know, they're dragging through the thing, because you haven't taken care of yourself.
The other thing is, we need to put our finances on autopilot. If your life is so hectic, you need to put your investing on autopilot so that you can set it and forget it. And and let it be working in the background, because everybody needs an emergency fund. Everybody needs something that's growing their money. Your money sitting in a savings account at 0.12 is not cute.
No, it is not. And then these are things. How many people have let their finances just ride, or just let it ride, and you don't know what's going on with it? And we're working from financial models from a long time ago that weren't working when they did it. When they first started a savings account, it might have gave you something, and then all of a sudden now you're getting less than a 0.5%. And okay, who said savings was the way to go? Savings is actually, it dwindles, and your money gets smaller as you leave it in savings. So what I've learned here recently, and looking back over some things, you need to take that money and put it into something that's going to earn you more money, and there are things you can do safely. If we're not talking for you to get there and play the lotto, or get there
No,
and put it in some high volatile stocks. We're not talking about that. We're talking about finding something. If you're a writer, invest, take some of that money, invest in a good computer for you to do your writing, and then get to writing and put the books out so that you get a return on your investment. If you're going to do stocks and stuff, go someplace, learn how to do it, and put the money wherever you need to do it that's going to bring you a return on investment. Um, there are different ways for you to increase your monies. And on your list for your year in review, are your finances where you wanted them to be? I'm like, okay. So I think we're gonna, we will. I would like to make this BizChicks wide throughout our whole community, where on we pick a day and we check in. We just gonna go into a room and check in. Anybody who wants to do it, want to check in on, do a vision check, where whatever you decided for your faith, your family, your fertilizer, your fitness, and your finance and fun, we all check in and be accountable. Okay, so I'm learning not to wait and let stuff pass or evaporate. So what day shall we do a check-in? Wednesdays after Coach Karen?
that would be interesting. Uh,
Um,
yes, I think I would rather have it Monday. We're here Monday. Why not
okay,
check in
okay,
after the broadcast?
and then what you can, and if you're a part of the BizChicks community over on Substack, there's a chat.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go in, and so we can check in on the chat. And you just go to bizchicks.net and it'll take you over to our Substack channel. And you can go in there and put in the chat, okay, I'm committed to doing this, I'll put a post over there to start the hey, Dr. Tachi, I'll go over there and put a post to start the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
every Monday, we are we're checking in on our faith, family, fertilizer, fitness, and fun, and finance and fitness and fun, and checking in. Are we doing the things that we said we wanted to do for the year?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or are we living toward the vision that we set, that we said that we wanted?
Wow.
Yes. So do a review, do a check-in, um, check in on your vision. And so this time we're going to check on our vision every week.
And check in on one another.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When we were doing the check-ins a few years back, we would find out, are you calling your family? Are you checking with family? How's it going with family? You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be long or anything. And we'll do that communication project in the app on Substack. So That's what we got for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We look forward to seeing you next time. Reach out to Dr. Tachi over on Indie Soup Media and Mediascope. Again, check out Mark Ward at Ask Mark Ward, and then become the part of the BizChicks community. Go to bizchicks.net or text biz to 33777. Always remember that
We're
we are here to help
taking
you
it
take the hassle
out
out
of
of
your
your
house.
hustle, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye,
Bye bye.
everyone. We'll see you soon.